Hey there friends, I'm Andrew, this is the Scrap Box, and today we're making a train. That's right, today we are going to be making a passenger train for all of our friends over at the station. Now, I really lucked out a couple years ago because I found this train at a thrift store. Mine is this cart's really old. And I've been using it ever since. I even went and designed my own, 9-volt motor? Why did I build my own motor? Well, you see, the original Lego 9-volt motors are very expensive, and online they're usually as is, which means you don't know if they're gonna work before you buy them. Right after I did that, though, I found this thrifting. It's one of the old Lego 9-volt motors, and I hate to say it, but it does work a lot better than mine. In my defense, I did have to build this using just thrifted parts. And in case you're new, yes, I did put aluminum tape on these so they could run with a 9-volt motor. Now it's time to get rid of the cargo train and make a passenger train. Now obviously, because we live in the real world, this is going to have some constraints. One of the biggest constraints is I made my tunnels really slim. On the straightaway, it's only 10 studs across. This train is only 6 studs across. It's got a little extras protruding. So we're going to see if we can manage 8 studs across. Now you might think we'd start with the wheels and build it from the wheels up, but actually these 2 wheels are going to be the last things we add on. We're going to start with the base right here. Now this is your standard base. It's a medium size, not too big, not too small. And fortunately for me, it's what my train station is equipped to handle, so this is what we will use. Now, you probably noticed there are holes, 3 holes on each side, 2 in the middle, and 3 holes on that side. And holes aren't great for the interior of passenger carts. But the thing is, if I take one of these and I put it in one of the holes, it actually sticks up. So we have to be very careful with how we tile this. However, what I could do instead is put some larger plates over the top, and that will help block out those holes, as well as still allowing this to still rotate. So let me do that. Alright, I've tiled this whole thing off. You'll see I've left 1 stud in width lines all the way across the side, and that is because I'm going to need to incorporate these pieces. Now, these will be used to clip something onto it a little later in the video, but you'll see now that I don't have all the black pieces that I'm supposed to. And that's just because I thrift most of my pieces, so gotta use what I have. So instead of black, I've got dark gray. I'm gonna put this one, I think that's the right spot. We're gonna put that one there. I'm gonna put this one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. And I'm just gonna do the same to the other side. Okay, I've got all my pieces, and then I put 1x4s and 1x3s and 1x2s to cover up the rest of the sides. I think that's good for the side. Now it's time for the tiling. Alright, you can look at this beautiful piece of what appear to be semi-random studs everywhere, but it all makes sense eventually. For instance, this is going to be one side, that's going to be the other side. There's going to be a door right here that opens up, hence the reason this is blank and tiled off. And there's going to be lots of stuff going right here and not so much right there. Now let's get down to it so we can see all of it together. Now first things first, I'm going to take a bunch of these 2x2 snot bricks and I'm going to place them along the sides like that. Questioning if that's the way it's supposed to be. Nope, it's supposed to be one over. There we go. I'm gonna do that for the whole line. Absolutely hideous. Let's fix that one up. Now the first thing we're gonna fix up are the corners. So I've got 2 green plates followed by one of these corner brackets, and I'm just gonna stick that right there. And eventually I'm gonna tile that one to look just like this one, and this one's gonna go on that side, just like that. Alright, and since these 2 sides are nicely tiled, it's time to tile the middle. Now we want these gold bars to line up right with the brackets, And that looks great, except now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across, which is much more difficult to tile. So I've got the 3s here and the 4s here, and we're going to use those to tile them. Alright, we've got that beautiful tiling, looks a bit like wood, and in the center I'm just going to put a 2x2 green brick. Not a brick, a tile. And if this train had a logo, it would go right there. Alright, the base of the wall looks great. Let's spin it around and work on the inside. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take little 1x2 plates and I'm just going to place them on top of these little middle studs here, 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 and there. And these are going to be used for chairs, but before we add the chairs, we should probably add the tables. Now the tables, I'm going to use these little window pieces. How am I going to use window pieces to be a table? Well, I'm going to set one like that, and then the other one goes like that. And now we have a little table, and we could take a nice red chair and stick it right there. Perfect. Now I will say I want to test this out, so I have my little test figure here, and he slides perfectly in and sits. Look at that, ready to go. Oop, chair came off. That is the bad part, is since they're only held down by 2 studs, it's a little easy to tear the chairs off. Let me get the rest of the chairs in there though. So I've got all my beautiful chairs and tables in there now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this wall. I'm going to make it a little even with the tables. I'm going to add some gold trim to the top. Since we got the nice green and gold going on, we're going to have some extra gold here. And by extra gold, I do mean these gold bars. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them all the way across just like that. And that actually holds these pieces in pretty well. That is really starting to come together. That looks nice. Except we've run into a problem. Let's go back on this side. You see, many Lego sets, they have their tables and chairs set one stud in the middle with one stud on either side. Now, I've always hated that because there's no way for your figures to scoot on through that way. However, this presents a challenge because if I sit a figure down and you look, his arm overlaps these studs, which means I have to be very careful with what I choose to go here. Luckily for me, I have, sorry about that. I have a bunch of these old train windows. You can tell they're really old, and you can tell I thrift all my pieces because this one is a little damaged. Don't worry, damage just means loved. If I put this piece in just like that, there we go, then it still provides enough space for my wonderful figure to sit with their arm nicely set. They still have room, they can sit down, everything looks good, and that train window looks pretty nice on the outside. Wow, focus please. So I'm just going to take some train windows and put them all the way across. There we go, we got some train windows, and what else I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out these little corner brackets with some 1x1 cylinders. There we go, let me get the one on the other side. Now that looks pretty good, but it's not very sturdy, so I'm going to take some plates and I'm going to put them along the top just to connect everything. Alright, now this is super sturdy. Very nice, and I can start building the top compartments. That's right, you gotta have a place to put your luggage. So we're actually going to do that, and we're going to build something on this outside. So I'm going to flip it over this way, and what we're going to do is I'm going to take, I do believe, one of these, and I'm just going to put it right there for now, and I'm going to go along and tile some red. Let's do that, and then I'm going to have a 2x2 tile. All right, this is what I have. As you can see, I've added a long bar to the top, and I have some little structures coming out to support the next layer. Now, we've got these, and I've got these up. Wow, bad job, me, bad job. These 2x2s that these will rest nicely on top of. And as you can see, I've put doors on some of these because these are going to be the overhead baggage areas. Let me get the rest of the doors on. We've got that one, and that one, and that one. There we go. Just enough room. Alright, now on this side, we're gonna put one with black plates. Excellent. And I've got these little slope pieces to go on the back ends as well. I'm gonna put them here, 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 and here. Now you probably realize there's a gap between the passenger compartments for the luggage, and I'm just gonna fill those in with 1x2 bricks. 1, 2. Perfect. I said not knowing if it's perfect at all. Now before we place any of these other curves, I'm going to take this L bracket right there and I'm going to pop that on because it is time to add the doors. Now that door goes to the other side. I need this door, and that's just going to go on right here. You see that stud from earlier? And perfect, look at that. And it can open up and give people room to slide in and out. I'm gonna do that on the other side as well. Place this, where is my L bracket? I'll find it somewhere. There it is, it was hiding. And now we've got those on nicely. And I'm actually gonna take 1x2s and I'm gonna put this like that. Where's my other 1x2? I'm gonna put this like that. And since we're here, I've got this plethora of 1x2, 1x3, 1x2. Little damaged piece. A-okay in my book. I'm gonna put that on. Nice, door still opens, and now I'm gonna do the other side. All right, for the end of the station, I've got this 2x4 curved piece, and I put a 1x2 bracket at the bottom, and this is just gonna lock everything nicely into place. Nice and sturdy. Nice and sturdy, little blurry, back in focus. Let's do the same to the other side. Nice. Now you probably realized at this point, Andrew, where's the other side? Well, I'm gonna make it so it can detach, so give me a second. All right, so I've set up these little columns to match the other side, and I've got these, I guess they're 1x2 curves with a 1x3 plate on the bottom, and that can just lock into place just like that and just like that. Now it's time for the actual wall. Actually, before I put the wall on, I'm going to show you this nice roof that I made. It just spans the whole track. It is a short slope, goes up, and the whole thing, man, I wish I could zoom out a little. Oh, there we go. Just a smidge to show you. Goes right on the top. All right, everything is clicked into place. Passengers have enough room. They have seating, they have tables, they have windows, they have doors. And now I can bring out the second side. There we go. It's made it the exact same way as the first side, and it'll clip in just like that. Now, to keep this from opening, I have designed this little 2x4 plate, and I just put some nice tiles on the top, and that whole thing goes just like this. And there we go. We've got the basics of our passenger train. Let's see what we can do about the bottom. Now I've put the wheels on, they do still turn, but it does look empty in the center. So what I've designed is I've just designed this. It's solid bricks in the middle, some little bracket plates on the side, and just, you know, a couple stuff to make it look like it's filled up. And that whole thing is gonna go right in the center just to fill up our blank space. Now, I did promise I'd tell you what'd go in these little clips eventually, and eventually is now. What's gonna go in there are these beautiful little decorative pieces. They're gonna go in just like that. That clips there. This one clips there. It still turns, it just misses everything vital. Now, I think the one thing I'm gonna say about this passenger train, it looks very winter holiday. I think that's because of the red and green. Unfortunately, with these train windows, I didn't really have much of a choice, so they had to be red. And I mean, you can't really argue with that color combination. So here's what the side looks like. And as of this very moment, we have ourselves one fantasy-inspired passenger train cart. Let's put it on the actual train. And there we go. Now, ideally, I'm going to replace the rest of this train with different carts that make it look like more passenger instead of cargo train. But for now, let's just make sure it can reach through all the tunnels. Real moment of panic when something is stuck in the tunnel. Is it my new thing? Let's find out. I don't know. Alright, I've peeled back the layers and I found out that this centerpiece was too wide, so let's slim it down just a bit. It has been slimmed down. Let's try this again. See. Is it coming around the other side? It is. It makes it through the tunnel. Alright. That's a relief. And we're going to leave off here. One passenger train richer. Alright, this has been Andrew. You've been watching the Scrap Box. Have yourself a very nice day. I'll see you next time. Bye.